What's going on YouTube? It's your boy DM Era 4187. Yes, I changed my name to all my 20 subscribers. Uh, this is my new updated Dark Magician deck profile I'm showcasing today. I find this build to be very different and uh, more consistent than the old Dark Magician deck profile I have for you. I apologize, guys, in advance for the lack thereof of me posting videos. I had a lot of stuff going on, trying to get my house squared away, and just taking time to take care of my family and just doing stuff. But when I have time to showcase my hobby and stuff I like to do, I bring you guys a new deck profile. And yes, I will be doing test hands at the end of the video. Hopefully, it won't be too long, just so that you guys can see the consistency of the deck. Okay. Um, and if you have guys have any questions or concerns about the tech options and choices I put in here, please comment in the comments below, and I always respond. So you get to see what I'm thinking. And if you guys have any tips or ways to help me out, please, I'm more than welcome and open to those suggestions to help make Dark Magician stronger and somewhat competitive. I like to find this build a little bit competitive as well. Um, so with all that being said, we'll get right into it. And yeah, we start getting to the deck profile. So first and foremost, we'll do main deck, going to our three main monsters of the deck, three copies of Dark Magician. One of my favorite in the deck. Next, I'll do three copies of Apprentice Illusion. Of course, she's my honest and she's my searcher for Dark Magician. One copy of Rod. I know this is unique for a lot of people, but once you see the strategy behind this deck, you'll understand why I only one copy of Rod. And we all know what he does. He is the main searcher of the deck, Circle, Eternal Soul, Navigation, whatever. So with the new engine, of course, I'm going into the Wind Winch engine again. Okay, so of course, three Ice Bells, um, two Glass Bells, and one Snow Bell. Then we're only running two Effect Veilers for the hand traps. And this time, one Blue Boy. I know my last profile had three of them. It worked out very well, but this time I'm just going to do one. For the Spicy Tech, of course, I'm running the one Kaiku. This card prevents your opponent from banishing cards from their graveyard or from anywhere. It prevents my opponent from just banishing cards in general. Also, when he inflicts damage, he can banish two monsters out of my opponent's graveyard. So it's pretty clutch. It's just a one-of. Also running one copy of Droll and Lock. I find this better than Ash because a lot of decks now they play around Ash. They bait out Ash, but he is a solid. You get one search and that's it. No more searches. He can stop a lot of decks, slow a lot of decks down. So I like this. Also running the one copy of Gravekeeper Shaman. This is probably one of my favorite anti-meta cards in the deck because as soon as you bring him out, your opponent can't activate monster effects in the graveyard at all. They're all negated. So if your opponent tries to combo off and be like, oh, blah, 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 you got this on the field, it slows them down. It damn near ends their turn. So this card is super clutch. So Gravekeeper Shaman. Also running the one copy of Jester Confit. He is a free special summon. So yeah, that's all I use him for, just a free special summon. And I'm also running the two copies of Keeper of Dragon Magic. Not only does he search out polymerization, he's a dragon, so easily if you want to go into Dark Magician the Dragon Knight, but you'll see my strategy and see what I'm working with. Also for the anti-meta strategy, one copy of Beat Raptor. Just one, just in case if your Wind Winch engine gets ashed, you want to normal summon somebody to slow your opponent down, Beat Raptor. So when your opponent starts to go off with the special summons, you can negate the first one, and plus it forces out a direct attack, or it forces out your opponent to start their battle phase so they can get over this and then they continue their plays. So yeah, just one of him, and that's it for the monsters. Going into the spells, I run three copies of Magicalized Fusion. This card is absolutely insane. It is searchable by Keeper. Keeper can search it. So yeah, absolutely insane. Next, I run the one Secrets. I run one copy of Foolish Burial, and I run the 2 copies of Knowledge, just for a little draw power. Go with the blue boy. Also run 2 copies of Twin Twisters to hit those back row decks. Orcas, they set the Crescendo and the Fog Blade. You want to hit those before you start your plays. Also got 1 copy of Super Poly. I'm missing the second one, so bear with me. All I have is just the 1 for right now. So we know what that does is makes Starving Venom or any other target. Also, too, we got the 1 copy of Illusion Magic. You just use him, trip you off, Rod, get 2 Dark Magicians from your deck to your hand. You guys, please forgive the noise in the background. That was my cat poking at the carpet, so he gets under my nerves. 1 Instant Fusion. I was running 2, but I brought it down to 1 just to bring out like Millennium Eyes, 1,000 Eyes Restrict. 1 Circle. Just to search, just to search for anything, but it's just for the banishing effect. We're not on the hard Dark Magician engine like that, so we're just doing 1 Circle. And then the 1 copy of Widowanker. Just in case, like I say, if I have a certain amount of spells, I go through all my spells, negate some monster on board, or force an effect negation. And at the same time, if I have 3 more spells in the grave, I can snatch that monster. So turn 1, I can snatch that monster if I wanted to. Go on second. Or if I set it and I just chain it, I can get another effect out. Going to the traps, all I play is 1 Navigation and 1 Eternal Soul. Eternal Soul, just like I said, bring back Dark Magician. Navigation is to push out Shaman, Dark Magician, or Dark Magician and Kaiku, depending on the matchup type. So just 1 and 1. You don't really want to see them too much because you want your consistency to be higher. I find that too many traps in Dark Magician makes it extremely slow and just easy for your opponent just to beat over you. So that's it for the traps. Or that's it for the traps. Going into the extra deck, if you couldn't tell, the main reason why I was playing that was because I can go into Quintet Magician or a Quintet Magician play. The Crystal Wing engine is great to bring this out because you spam a crap ton of spellcasters to the graveyard and you just Magicalize Fusion into him. He is a 4,500 beater that cannot be tributed, and on summon, when he's summoned, he doesn't activate effect, but on summon, with his 5 spellcasters, he just blows up your opponent's side of the field. So that's great for OTK. Going into OTK variant with the Dark Magician deck profile. And yeah, man, it's just he's the beater. He's the boss of the deck. So yeah, that's what we're shooting for on that. Also, we got the 1 copy of Dragon Knight. If you can pull it out, you can super poly off your opponent's dragon, your Dark Magician to make him. So yeah. Also, we got the 1 copy of Dark Cavalry. He prevents, like I said, if anybody try to target any one of your monsters, if you can manage to get him out and Quintet out, if your opponent try to target him with Impermanence or Widowanker or whatever, you can negate that. Send a card from your hand, negate that, and he gains 100 attack for each spell and each spell and trap on the field and in the graveyards. So if your opponent has Floodgates or whatever, and they have a crap ton of spell in graveyard, and you have yours, you become a huge beat stick. So yeah. Of course, the Super Poly targets, Starving Venom, and Mud Dragon of the Swamp. I like this card because I consider this the light version of the light version target for Super Poly and the dark version target Super Poly. So if your opponent has 2 light monsters with different types on the side of the field, you can just Super Poly into him and then just go into attack again. So I like those 2. Also, of course, we run our Instant Fusion targets, Millennium Eyes and 1,000 Eyes, of course, to stop hand traps and to snatch monsters. So yeah, there we go. And our main monster we go into, of course, Crystal Wing. With this build, it's easy to push out Crystal Wing turn 1. Crystal Wing will be the monster you can just sit on, honestly. If you can sit on Crystal Wing, your opponent's going to have a hard time getting over him. But if they do get over him, hey, we don't care because we want to get out Quintet Magician. By the time he's on the field, you already got 4 spellcasters engraved already off of him. Okay. So yeah, he's our first boss we want to go into. And if your opponent can out them, then hey, okay, cool. And then we go right into Quintet. By that time, you should have Magic Lines Fusion and you'll be set to go. So, yeah. Of course, we got our Winter Bell. Because by the time you get the Wind Witch engine out, you should be able to burn with Ice Bell for 5, and you burn with him with Winter Bell for 8, so that's 1300, and it helps you OTK your opponent faster that way. And of course, I got my Boilo Savage and my Cyberse Quantum if I have Effect Veiler and uh, Apprentice on field. I can just synchro off to him. Or if I'm Dark Magician and Apprentice, I just synchro off into him, and I'll go see he's a beater with a Link Monster, 2 Negates, and yeah, there you go. It just gives me, I put them in the deck because it just gives me different options to go into and just give me different multiple plays. Of course, got the one Link Karibo off of my Instant Fusion tech to protect yourself. Still run the one Crowley just to get into my spells and add them to my hand quickly. And the Wee Witch to help boost up Quintet Magician. If you can manage to get, or if your Crystalman gets blown up and you have 2 Dark Spellcasters on field, i.e. Jester Conflict, you just link off to him and then play Magic Lines Fusion and then bring Quintet to an arrow he points to. He'll be 19 and Quintet be 5k. You'll swing for 19 and then swing for 5k, and that's game right there. So, and after Quintet blows up the field. So, I like this card for that. It helps with the FTK. Or not FTK, I'm sorry, OTK, I'm sorry. And then last but not least, we're on the Ebon Illusion, just to banish, banish effect. But yeah, just the one copy of him. So that is the extra deck. Now let's go into the side. Let's talk about the side. Side deck was a little bit hard for me because I was thinking about the meta and I was trying to figure out what cards I could play for going second, because going second for this deck is hard. But with these techs, I can kind of see myself doing a lot better going second. So we'll go ahead and go into it. So of course I run the 2 copies of Chaos Hunter. If you're playing Orcus or you're playing Salamangreat, as soon as your opponent special summons, you bring him out and your opponent can't banish or can't let me see, I'm sorry, I'll tell you right. Your opponent cannot banish cards. So for Orcus, it slows them down if they can't get out there during Gear Suit. So it'll slow them down. Oh, let's see. Got those 2. Also run the Lava Golem and the Kaiju because they also special. And if your opponent has like 4 or 5 freaking creatures on board that got like 4 or 5 negates, you can tribute those 2, special summon this one, tribute 1 special. So you can special summon both of these out if you have both of them in hand. And you just can't normal summon if you get this one out. So that's it. And it helps you get over there negates. For the Sky Striker matchup, I just played the 3 Secret Village, on game 2 against them. So, that's an instant, that's an auto win against Strikers if you can get that out. Also, too, for the Strikers, I don't know why people aren't playing, is Soul Release. I love this card. You hit 5 cards out of your opponent's graveyard, banish them off. So even if you hit 5 spells, you slow down their Afterburners, you slow down their Widow Anchor, you slow down their Engage, you slow down their Jamming Waves, you slow down a lot of their secondary effects if they have multiple spells engraved. So if you can hit this on Sky Strikers, you slow down a lot of their cards. You slow down their Shizuku from lowering your monster's attack, the Kagari from raising his attack. It's a lot of cards you can slow down. This card is so viable against Sky Strikers. I just don't know why people aren't playing it. So 3 copies of Soul Release. That's one of my favorite techs against Sky Strikers. Also, I'm running 2 copies of Spiritualism. Just in case your opponent wants to flip over not Impermanence, but Imperial Order, you can play this card to send it back, and guess what? It cannot be negated. So the effects of Imperial Order states that, any spell gets negated, not this one. You can play this because it cannot be negated, and you can shoot it back to the hand. And then that helps you with your plays and helps you OTK better, or helps you banish other cards off too with your other spells. So just that. Plus, I also use it to push back scales for pendulums. Just to push back certain cards that you don't want to see that they say, oh, you can't play. So, yeah. Also, I'm running 2 copies of Terraforming, but the Secret Village for going second to help you set up. Just 2. That's all I need. Just to help you set up and get yourself going. And the 1 copy of Evenly Matched. I was thinking about putting this at 3, but I don't want to give up a battle phase. And plus, I don't want to brick with it, I guess that makes sense, going second. I want to still be able to have plays, but just in case I have a backup plan. So yeah, so just that, guys. Um, but yeah, that's the deck right there. So what I want to do is now, if I have a little time, I know I've taken up a lot of you guys' time. Please forgive me. I want to shuffle up and give you guys a good test hand and see what the deck can do. So here it goes, nothing. Let me just give you a quick little power shuffle real fast, guys. Because I mean, all of my followers, you guys know that when I make these deck profiles, I try to make you the most consistent and competitive, and get your plays profiles possible, especially with Dark Magicians, and give you something good that you can try out for yourself and you can test, and then you can just play. You can say that, hey, DeAndre, or DM Era, he is he's legit, and he actually gives us test hands so we can see what actually happens. So here goes the first one. So we're gonna go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. So with that, let's see what we got here. So we could go, if we wanted to, let's say, we could go two ways with it. We can go. We can go instant fusion. Okay. We can bring out. Okay. Millennium Eyes. Set them off. Then we can go pitch him. Bring out Dark Magician. If he gets Ash, you got that. So of course we'll drop our Dark Magician. Okay. And then from there, we can go knowledge, tribute hero, draw 2. Okay. All right. And then we can go circle if we wanted to. See top 3. All right. Nothing there. All right. And we can just set up, however we want to set up. Then I'll set. Then we'll link off. I'm going to link Karibo. And unfortunately, like that, at that point, we would just pass turn. Okay. And of course, if we win second, we would just go, or if we win again on our opponent's turn, we'll go there. Bam, we go here, and then you just go to, you search out off your navigation. Where's he at? Where's he at? And go into Shaman. Okay, so then that way, that slows your opponent down. You get a banish, and that slows your opponent down. Okay. So yeah, so that's just one of the hands. That probably wasn't a best hand. I try to shuffle it up, but let's try one more time. Let's see if we can get something a little bit better. But that's just one of the plays that slow your opponent down, because then they can't activate graveyard effects. So you're going against the meta. So if we had to shuffle up again, let's see what we got. So let's see what we got here. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so again, not too good on that hand, y'all. I apologize. So even if we had, let's say, if we win second or anything like that, or even if we win second, we draw 6 cards. Okay, we got Super Poly. So we could just Super Poly off or anything, or we can go set, or it all depends on what they got. Set, we can negate, or set that and set that. Set, and then pass turn, or we can go Super Poly, send him off, Super Poly off to Money Mud Dragon or Starring Venom. So that's what we got on that. Let's do one more hand. Let's do one more. So if I had to look at it, 1, 2, 3, Okay, so here we go. This is exactly what I was talking about right here. Okay, so we have an Ice Bell, so we just go effective special. Get her out. We got Ice Bell, so then you go to Glass Bell, and we all know how Crystal Wing is. Go to Glass Bell. Glass Bell searches out Snow Bell. Okay. Ice Bell's effect to burn for 5. Effect to Snow Bell to special. Okay. Synchro. To Winter Bell. Winter Bell's effect. Use Glass Bell to burn for 8. Okay. Synchro again. Going to Crystal Wing. Okay. Now after you did all that, then you can go, since and instead of you special summon, you just normal summon Jester Confit. Then you'll play Knowledge on Jester, send on to the grave, draw 2. Okay. This is what we drew right here. Drew these 2. And then keep in mind now you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You already have 5 spellcasters in grave. So you just set on Crystal Wing until he, because you can't bring nothing else out. So you just set on Crystal Wing until he gets destroyed. Okay. So after that, you go with your plays, or you could just set this. I'm sorry, before end turn. You set that. You go for your plays. As soon as your opponent does something, you just chain navigation, bring out Dark Magician, and again, like I said, you just go. It depends on what you play, who you're playing against. So more than likely, I always like to go into Shaman because, like I said, people do a lot more graveyard effects than anything else. Okay, so then you go there. So you got Shaman to lock out the graveyard effects. You got Crystal Wing, and you got Dark Magician. Plus, you got Navigation and Grave. So you got another. You have another graveyard effect, graveyard negation. Okay. So then your opponent's just sitting there. So then your opponent, let's say your opponent seems to out the Crystal Wing. They beat the Crystal Wing, and they patch, right? So you just draw for turn. Okay. All right, cool. So now we got that. So then you would just go off to this link, off into Wee Witch. Okay. And then you'll play Magical Eyes Fusion. So then you'll banish. I won't banish off my Dark Magician. I try not to. So you banish off 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you banish off 5 different spellcasters. Okay. To bring him out. And on summon, he blows up the field. So on summon, he blows up your opponent's side of the field. And when he does that, now he's at 5K, he's at 19, and you brought your opponent already down to 6,700. So then you can just go for the OTK right there. You just go for 1,900 and then 5K, and that's game. And that's what we're left with. Okay. Again, sorry for the first 2 hands. Sometimes you break. But I just want to show you guys a true, pure version of it, and just see if you guys like that combo and what I'm working with now, new build. And yeah, just let me know what you guys think. Again, I just try to do everything, make you guys, better players and look at different ways. Hope you guys like the video. Please don't forget, like, comment, subscribe, and yeah, you guys have a good day. DM Hero out.